Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys, California. Before I begin, I'm going to give all praise, its most high Yahweh, acknowledgement to Earthly Mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledge it, Yahweh Shai. I pray the Most High bless this lesson this evening, gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past, in order to understand what are currently happening on the earth, so we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. The other nations, you only have yourselves to blame for not understanding what is going on right now. You only have yourselves to blame. You were so concerned with hiding information from us that you have deprived your own people from getting any understanding of what is going on today. This is why you have to keep making up stories every single day that don't come to fruition. You keep having to make all of these false flag events every single day. And it must get tiring to have to come up with something to keep the masses fooled every single day. Like I said, it's very difficult to be wrong 100% of the time, but you guys are great at it. Now, we're going to get into a little something here, showing you that there were plenty of writings that were available during the early Christian era. But these Gentiles went out of their way to hide these books, but they are present, they are around, they're hidden in, Smithsonian areas, Smithsonian institutes, museums all around the world, behind closed doors where we're not allowed to see them. But, on your quest to, destroy us as a people, you have destroyed your own people. So let's get into this. Gonna get into this book real quick here called Pistis Sophia, right, from 1924. Now you're gonna see that many of these people were well aware of this information. They were well aware of the fact that in this book it talks about how Yahushua came and taught his people for 12 years. See, this is the whole problem. These guys worship Paul. You can read something in the Bible, it could be there multiple times, but they're going to say, but Paul says this. It could say that you're going to pay for the sins of your father, but all they're going to do is, but Paul says this. So that's, Paul just pretty much erases everything that the Most High has said, all the stuff written in red about how he came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. No, I know Jesus said that, but Paul said something different. So like I said, we're not even dealing with people that are real Christians. We're dealing with Paulites. We're dealing with people who worship Paul. They can't go all over the scriptures and find their points. All they're going to do is run back to Paul. And if that's your God, be my guest. Not a problem. You guys are good at worshiping just about every and anything. So why not worship Paul as well? If that's your God, don't try to talk about Yahushua and then the Most High being your power when all you do is run to Paul. So let's take a look at the preface here in this book. I'm going to read a little bit here. Preface: the history of Gnosticism, which may be defined as the belief that man's place in the next world is determined by the knowledge of it that he acquires in this. Okay? Goes back probably to the very dawn of our civilization. Now see, the Bible talks all the time about getting knowledge. Study to show thyself approved. You are responsible for your own learning. Don't go to a man and have them do everything for you. How the Most High hides a thing, and it's up to a king to search the matter out. Talking about, and this goes with Gnosticism, how the Most High, where you're at today is such a reflection of how you lived your previous lives. And as you can tell, the vast majority of the world does not give any thought at all to following the Most High, because they are stuck wherever they are stuck, thinking as if this is all that there is. But this book is telling you this is what Gnosticism is. But even in the Bible, it kind of goes with these kinds of tendencies and principles. But the world does not want knowledge. And it talks about that. How when the Most High was trying to give you knowledge and give you opportunity to, chase after him, you refused to do so. You wanted nothing to do with that. Okay? Hold on, real quick, fam. I'll be right back. Quick little 15-second pause here. Okay, family, we're all back now. Okay. No, the world doesn't want knowledge. But all over the scriptures, it talks about how knowledge is so important. Let's go there real quick. Just one example. Proverbs 1. Okay. And let's see here. 22. Proverbs 1 and 22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning. And fools hate knowledge. See, knowledge is very important. But like I said, the people that are on top of you, your overseers, your people in power, your elite, as you call them, have made it so that you don't need to chase after knowledge at all. So again, Proverbs 1:22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning. And fools hate knowledge. And that's what these people use Paul for. They use Paul to not chase any type of knowledge. It's the same things over and over again. The Greek and Paul. The Greek and Paul. That's all that they have. Nothing else. Won't look at their history. Won't look at the things that has happened that their churches are responsible for. Won't look at what their forefathers have done. It's just Paul, right? And the Greek. That's all that they want to talk about. Or the Romans. That's it. Nothing else. And hey, you feel free. 23. Turn ye at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. See, in order to get knowledge, you need the Holy Spirit to give you understanding. But because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel and would none of my reproof. And I will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. Okay? When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They will seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Most High. So see, everything revolves around knowledge. And that's what this is telling you with Gnosticism. Again, the history of Gnosticism, which may be defined as the belief that man's place in the next world is determined by the knowledge of it that he acquires in this. It goes back probably to the very dawn of our civilization. But its importance for most of us is mainly centered around the first 3 centuries of our era. Not even Christianity, as Alemanno quotes from Pascal, was able at once to make an angel out of a beast. And no sooner did it emerge from its first home in Judea and into the broader light of the Roman Empire. Okay, then there sprang up within it many more or less secret schools, which sought to combine the truths of the new religion with some of the most pernicious superstitions of the old. Until lately, however, our knowledge of the teaching of these post-Christian Gnostics has been limited to the statements of their opponents, and that's exactly what it is. They hide the information so that they can talk about it. They hide the information and say it's all witchcraft and whatever else so that the opponents, the Constantine Christians, can tell you how bad it is. But they won't allow you to read the information and make your own determination. You're not allowed to read information and make your own, judgment, come to your own, understanding. That is something that they do not want you to do, and that's the same as today. We don't read other books. We don't read the Apocrypha. We don't read the other books so that they can just say that they're evil, but they don't allow you to read them. No different. Same playbook. Okay? So again, Gnostics has been limited to the statements of their opponents. Before the close of the 2nd century, Irenaeus and Tertullian had written against them. And 200 years later, Epiphanius, then Bishop of Constantia in Cyprus, repeated their accusations in his huge Panarion, which some doubtful editions, of his own in a form which at least has the merit of restoring for us a great part of the lost Greek text of Irenaeus. These writers were avowed heresy hunters, keenly alive to the danger to Christianity and the doctrines which they expose. See, our information, these Gnostic texts, our understanding is a danger to their Constantine Christianity. That is why we were never allowed to read. We were never allowed to come together and make our own opinions, because they know that it is a danger to their Constantine Christianity. Their Christianity cannot stand up to scrutiny. And that's very evident today. That's very evident. That's why you get called names. They make false accusations about you, everything else, but they never deal with the information because they can't. That's why we bring out all this information and you hear no rebuttal. You don't see any videos trying to explain it away. You don't get any of that because they can't. Because then it's like, okay, well, hold on. We're going to talk about this. Let's talk about your history. And then they don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about the history of your church. So you can't keep looking away and turn your blind eye to all. You've had your control of this place for thousands of years. So now let's examine your testimony, and you refuse to do it. So again, these writers were avowed heresy hunters, keenly alive to the danger of Christianity and the doctrines which they exposed, and therefore necessarily inclined to believe the worst that could be said against them. So they just make up whatever false accusations about anybody and anything, and that's what they run with. That's what they did with the Israelites when they were going after us with the Inquisition, saying that we were killing babies and we were doing this and doing that, and we killed Christ and we did this, all these things, because they want to believe it, so they don't really look at anything with any scrutiny. Okay? It says, but granting the fathers entire good faith in the matter, and that of Irenaeus and Tertullian, okay, at least is undoubted. There was one cogent reason why their account of Gnostic teaching had to be received with suspicion. The leaders of the Gnostics did not teach openly, but in secret, okay, and by a method of initiation and allegory, which was directly copied from the mysteries, then current in the pagan world, and such as of their writings as fell into the hands of the Catholics, were therefore not likely to give any clear view of their doctrine without prolonged study and comparison. Now, they didn't have any understanding of what we were writing, what our people were talking about. So therefore, they just had to, make it evil and make people run away from it because it wasn't things that was taught out publicly. Okay? Hence, the heresiologists, while dwelling upon minor points which seemed strange and absurd to those who had not the key to their meaning, exaggerated the differences between the different teachers, and ignored for the most part the many features of their teaching which they had in common. In the words of one who certainly had no leaning towards the era which the fathers belabored, they took minor and unimportant details and magnified them, and treated them as the essentials of a system or systems. The essential principles were largely the same throughout the difference which was chiefly in regard to details. It is this conduct on the part of the fathers that gives us such a distorted and often ridiculous view of Gnosticism, which is exactly, like I said, due today. This is exactly the same thing that goes on today. Instead of looking at what the Israelites are bringing out, they attack the Israelites. They call them names. They make them say they're racist, they're this, they're that, instead of actually just looking at the information. Going in and really studying the information for themselves and coming to their own conclusion. Most people don't want to do that anyways. So they're really quick to just believe whatever their pastors and priests say. But they never even look at their own church history. Got all these people running around here with Mary and white Jesus and the cross and everything else, not even realizing or not even caring that the priests came over here with that, the conquistadors came over with those things and raped, robbed, and murdered everyone around here and used that as justification. use their white Jesus, Cesare Borgia, all that stuff as justification. Use their doctrine of discovery to say that we were not even human and they could do whatever they wanted. Now, you've joined yourself to an organization that is guilty of this. So what do you think's about to happen to you? You're just going to run to Paul and say, well, Paul says otherwise? As if Paul has that kind of clout? Most High said you're going to pay for what's done to his people. Just because you're, higher ups and your elites call us African American doesn't make it true. Call us black doesn't make it true. Calls you brown doesn't make it true. Calls you yellow and white doesn't make it true. You gotta learn how to think for yourselves, people. Let's continue. It is true that Clement of Alexandria and his friend Origen, writing in the birthplace of post-Christian Gnosticism, afforded us a more tolerant and philosophical idea of Gnostical teaching, and have even preserved for us some precious extracts from the writings of the school of Valentinus. Okay, the great leader who at one time nearly attained the primacy of the Catholic Church. So this guy's almost a top dog in the Catholic Church, huh? Okay. But save for this, it was not until the middle of the 19th century, so 1800s, middle of the 1800s, that we had any chance of studying Gnosticism from the works of its adherents. See, these people hid all this information for what, 1800 years almost. Did not allow you to see it. So like I said, the fact that you don't have any understanding at this point is because of your leaders. Your leaders hid all this information this whole time. And now you have the opportunity to take a look at it, and you refuse to do so at your own peril. This is why the Most High is giving you all these chances to hear this before he drops the hammer. So the discovery in 1840 of an almost complete copy of Hippolytus, I'm not going to try to read the other one, Philosophonomia, gave us for the first time sufficient excerpts from those writings to enable us to judge of their style and form. And the publication in 1851 of Schwartz's text of the Pistis Sophia first made it known to the world of scholars that there were in the museums of London and Oxford Coptic MSS right there, manuscripts undoubtedly written by Gnostics for Gnostics. So you got an opportunity to see what Gnostics were writing for other Gnostics. All this information has been hidden. Only people you need to be upset with are your pastors and your priests and your people in authority. Don't get upset with us. Get upset with them. They have kept the keys of knowledge away from you. They have kept you away from the people who could, break down this information. So it is the longer and more important of these which forms the subject of the following pages. The value of our text for the study of the early days of Christianity can hardly be overrated. If I am right in my conclusions, the main part of the documents which it contains, are actually from the school of Valentinus. The Heresiarch, just mentioned, who flourished in the reign of Hadrian and Antoninus Pius, and one of them was certainly written before the fourth gospel was known to the Christian communities of the East. So these are earlier writings. I thought that was what we wanted. The earliest writings so we can get a much better understanding. But see, they don't want you to get these early writings so that you can come to your own conclusion. That is not what they want. Okay? Hence, it is to be placed among the earliest Christian writings. But the vast majority of the world has never even heard of this. Based on the actions of the Gentiles, who refuse to let you see any of this. So hence it is to be placed among the earliest Christian writings and follows immediately in point, of the date on the synoptics and other writings of the apostolic age. Both this and the other documents in the manuscript show also how these heretical schools used to wring the twist and Swiss scriptures for their purpose, how closely their teaching was linked with the Egyptian and other religions of the pre-Christian world. Okay, so all this information been hidden. This is why now all these, events are going on and you have no clue. That's why they're stuck with, this X marks the spot means that we're going to have our opportunity. It means for us to come together and go ahead and push our religion out here worldwide again. Do the Great Commission all over again. Oh, it means we're all going to get raptured away. Oh, we don't have to pay for anything because Paul said. That's why they're all stuck. Because they don't have any understanding. They're dealing with very little information. Not because they don't have it, but because they've hidden it from you. Hidden it because they wanted to keep it away from us. So they kept it away from you. So now you are lost. All praise is Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledge Yahweh Shai. Shalom.